Welcome, everyone. Today I have Nimish Bakshi again. He's the marathon relay runner, as you can see. He has been training significantly, and you've heard him talk about his experiences, the physical experiences, as well as his initial issues that he had, particularly with breath. And today we're going to talk about the mental makeup about what he had to challenge himself to go through the marathon and how he did that and what are the techniques he used in order to overcome what he had to overcome. So, Nimish, go ahead, talk to us about what it was when you started.
Sure. Thank you for this opportunity. In terms of the mental aspect of this, of preparing for a race or running a race, it's always the thought process of having it being a positive one, and speech pattern is vital when running any type of long distance. When I used to run some prior long distance races in 2023, I used to have the mindset that, okay, I can do this. But when that race would end, or even just closer to the end of it, I started negating that self-talk because I was suffering from a point of self-defeat, or whether it be because it was a warm day or because I was exhausted. So I was just being, I'm done. I'm so done with this. But yet I still pushed through it. Fast forward to practice runs for this marathon relay. When I started doing them, and I was doing them by myself, I was fine. I had no issue because I was running against myself. Now, when it came to running in instances where I was there would be other people around me, specifically one of my last runs, which was a 5 mile run. I started seeing people running at the same time, but what was unnerving was when I would only be halfway through my one lap, and those same people would have already completed one or two laps. And so they were kept on coming around and kept on coming around. And the negative thoughts of, I'm not fast enough, or am I even good enough to be running? So those thoughts really crept in for me. And what does that mean? That means all those self doubt thoughts. But as I continued to run, and then that even led into my current race, where the mindset started to shift when I started to do some positive self-talk.
Okay.
I focused on some thoughts of, Nimish, you got this. You can do anything you set your mind to. Remember, you're racing against yourself and no one else. You're a winner. Just keep at it. And this really helped me throughout my relay experience because it really calmed me down and made me realize that, oh, I'm having so much fun doing it. So that was my real experience with improving my mindset.
Good. So that I would go into a little bit further into the details of what you did. First of all, you were comparing yourself against somebody that was faster, they were doing better runs than you were. So the comparison obviously shifted from your self ability to sort of, doubt. So that was the shift that happened when you started doubting yourself. But then, interestingly, when you shifted your mindset, you started talking to yourself. And very fascinating that our speech can really change everything within our mind, everything within our system, to the point that the neurohormones and neurotransmitters start changing. And when we talk positive, like what you did, and especially the words that you use, Nimish, you address yourself as a third person. Now, that's a very fascinating one because as soon as you talk to Nimish, you have taken the authority of Nimish who was having doubts. And so you took the authority from Nimish. And you were in control of even Nimish, who was running.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that the way you address that, Nimish, you got this. You got this means you're owning it. Then you also said you have it made, or there's no question about it, and you did not use any negative terms, which is the very important aspect in talking positives and also giving affirmations. So your speech was affirmative, and you only said that that got you out of the lower, you know, thinking and self doubts, and then you completed it. So are you doing this consistently now, or what is changing now?
No, actually, I am consistently doing this now. I have actually, with my past run, with my these last few or training runs that I've done post marathon relay, even just regular working out or in doing anything else in my life, I am focusing on positive self-talk. I have a daily affirmation and for every different activity that I do, that I read to myself and I keep to myself because for me, that's my way of saying that, to reinforce that positive in myself. And I've seen a lot of different changes happening, and especially I know we talked about this in in a different call prior, but especially in this past training session that occurred on Saturday, when I was having that coughing spell, I also had to talk to myself. I had to speak positive into myself, saying, "You have this. You can do it. Just take a few deep breaths, calm down, but you got this, Nimish. You can do this. You can finish this run."
So
Because
let me interrupt you there for a
sure.
second, because there is a level of speech that says you can do it, and versus you got this. You got this is more of ownership. That's a little bit higher level of speech. You can do this
Mhm.
is a number three level, but the fourth level is when you already possess.
Yes.
You finished it. Nimish, you are at the end of the race, and you're speaking the future. This is just a
Yep.
little hint for creation of affirmations for people who are listening to this. But from this conversation, Nimish, thank you very much for sharing this. This conversation, it is obvious that not many people run marathons, okay? Not many people do that. And so it is really helpful to know that if you have a consistency, and despite the consistency, you can still have self doubts, you can still have issues like asthma, like you had, coughing that you had, you can go through these situations. And how can the positive talk reverse many of these negative areas in your body, negative areas in your mind, and put all the positive hormones, the neurohormones, back into the system, and they are the ones who help you perform even further. So that's a very wonderful message for everybody, and I really appreciate your time today, Nimish. Thank you very much for being with us.
I appreciate the time. Thank you.